2, 1. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Tower Radio. And today we got a great show. We are the Doghouse, bringing you the latest and greatest in gaming news, reviews, and discussion. And you're here with your hosts, Husky, Dingo, and Updog.
Hey, what's up, fellow gamers? We got a good show coming at you live today.
That's
We got some
right.
hot, fresh gaming news.
Steamy.
Also, a new segment we're going to try out at the end of the show. Hope you guys like it.
Game Doctors.
Yeah, we're going to take a game that
Is bad.
everyone is kind of can figure that it's bad.
It's bad.
The consensus is that this game is bad, and we're going to try to fix it. We're going to look at the good, the bad, and try to take out the bad and put in more of the good.
Right.
Eli, can you lift the monitor up a little bit?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
To see faces. Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go. Now we can see everybody.
All right. Yeah, you can see my split ends and absolutely dreadful hair. I need to get a haircut.
Your
I
sallow
do
complexion.
too, actually. I feel like I do. But
I do
He's
too.
over there with a perfectly parted, like, blonde head of hair, all perfectly straight. And I'm here like, I look like the
I
guy
still
in
need
the
a
basement
haircut. I mean,
complaining about the lizard men.
oh my gosh. So anyways, the game that we're going to do today for Game Doctor, just to get you guys a little bit hype about this, we're going to be taking a look at what even I consider as the worst idea of a Sonic game ever, which is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes, the dark horse of the the 3D Sonic franchise. A game that was kind of ill-conceived. It ends up being really fun for all the worst
The
reasons.
wrong reasons,
Right.
of course.
But before we get into any of that, we're going to go ahead and jump into the forecast and verse of the day. So
Sweet.
today, on October 4th,
Year of our Lord,
It's starting-
2019.
starting to cool down a little bit. We got a forecast of 77 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 25 degrees Celsius for our scores of German fans across the pond.
Yeah, like I got up this morning and I stepped outside and it was cool and I was like, what?
Because the clouds are shielding us from the sun's harmful rays or something. I don't know. I really wish I still kind of. This is fine. I can exist in this weather, at least for longer than 5 minutes before having to seek shade or shelter. But
Like a vampire.
Yeah.
yeah. But honestly, I can't wait for it to get colder.
Yeah.
Right now the wind speed is calm. Let me refresh this just to make sure we got everything current. Ugh. There's no room. We need bigger. We need. Ugh. All right. Yeah, we got a calm wind speed. Heat index is 79 degrees Fahrenheit for the high and 26 for 26 degrees Celsius for all our German fans. Blah blah blah. Whole spiel. Don't talk to me. But yeah, the high is going to be 80 degrees for today, apparently, and then the low is going to be 59 degrees tonight. So look out for those dropping temperatures. We're settling into fall, presumably.
That's right.
Yep, this is the end stretch of summer.
Thank goodness.
We finally made it, boys.
Jumping into the verse of the day, we're going to be reading from Proverbs, and it'll be chapter 27, verse 1. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring.
Yeah, that's a good verse, dude.
That's
Sounds
a
like a-
good, like, just general wisdom.
That seems like it'd be on a fortune cookie.
It does.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think there's two things I think of when I think of this verse. For one, we don't know if we even have tomorrow. There's another place in the Bible that it says you're only really guaranteed today. So we have no idea what tomorrow could hold.
Now that doesn't say that's not saying live in the moment or anything.
Live and learn.
That's
Oh my gosh.
That's why I like Proverbs. It just gives you good
it's
advice.
just
Like,
saying, be
hey.
prepared. That's actually saying the opposite of live in the moment. Be prepared.
Yeah, just be prepared.
Because you
for
never
what
know
might
when things are
happen.
going to go sideways. You never know
Exactly.
when your radio co-host is just gonna snap.
or when Spotify is going to turn
Because-
on its own.
Yeah,
Somebody
exactly.
left Spotify on. He's just gonna.
We don't know what a
Well,
day may
rampage.
bring, and so
Yeah.
it's a good little.
I know
verse
it
of
wasn't. I know
caution.
it wasn't me because I don't listen to that kind of music. So that was
Right.
that was odd.
That's why I like Proverbs. It's good advice. Like, I like it
It
whenever the
is.
Bible just tells me practical stuff. Like, hey, plan for tomorrow. Pay your taxes.
Chock full of it. Proverbs is really
Hey,
good.
it does tell you to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
I think Proverbs specifically is really good for that because they have a chapter for every day of the month. So
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
if you just want to like start out like a Bible study and you don't know where to start, just read Proverbs for that day. The corresponding
Proverbs
chapter.
Proverbs is always just going to be good.
Yeah.
Always is good.
All right.
So that's a good month Bible study.
Yep.
But yeah, jumping out of that, great verse. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into the top of the hour. So
Bum, top of the hour.
Da.
do
It's
that
a new
again.
thing.
Do that again.
Bum, top of the hour.
Da.
We have to do that every time.
I'm gonna go,
now.
"Duh."
Continuity.
Oh no. Just workshopping a new thing live on the air.
Steam Workshop Rivals of Aether. Sorry, what? Okay.
All right.
You go ahead and start with your top of the hour.
Oh boy, I'm excited for this one. Okay,
Are
so
you though?
not really.
I'm kind of excited about this one. I want to play it.
Yeah, we need to do this. We need to sit down and do this. But listen, okay, a few weeks ago we covered KFC created their own dating simulator game, and I think it's on Steam.
Yeah, I Love You, General Sanders.
Yeah, it's a
Colonel.
game. Colonel Sanders.
Sanders.
It's a
Dang it.
game where you can date the Colonel himself
That's right.
and go on adventures with him.
Think of-
Wendy's is throwing their hat in the ring with a free tabletop game you can get off their website right now. It's called Feast of Legends. Like I said, it's free. It's it's basically a tabletop game like Dungeons and Dragons set in like a Wendy's universe where all the classes are based off items on the Wendy's menu.
Okay, so we're getting a lot of these fast food-esque games
Yeah.
and expansions. The only logical step next is we got to have a choose your own adventure with the general from the General Auto Insurance.
Oh my goodness.
It's weird. It's weird because like this isn't the first time this has happened. Back in the day,
Yeah.
Burger King and McDonald's used to like throw platformers at each other, trying to outdo each other.
That's right. I
Back
actually
in the
forgot
day,
about
yeah, on the
those.
NES and some of the Sega systems. Like part of me is just like this is so weird, but I kind of want to play it because like the bad guy is the jester of frozen meats, and I'm hoping it's a Ronald McDonald like
And guys, we can't
Satire?
forget about Sneaking.
Sneak King. Sneak King's actually pretty good.
Sneaking's actually a pretty good game.
No, it's not.
We need to fix Sneak King next.
It's so good. What do you fix?
If
There's
this
nothing
game,
to
if
fix.
this first game
Nothing's
Doctors
broken.
goes all right,
It's
then
a perfect game.
we may do Sneak King next.
Yes.
Yeah, but we gotta play that Wendy's tabletop. That
think-
sounds way too funny.
I think
Oh
after
my
this, I think
God.
after this game Doctors, we probably should do a dogfight. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we
one of
have
those.
one planned for October.
yeah, we've got
Right.
one.
Yeah.
so
It's gonna be spooky.
yeah, Wendy's. What was the name of it?
Feast of Legends.
Yeah, go play that tabletop, I guess.
Go do it. Play
How
it right
much
now.
is it? Do you know?
It's free.
Oh, it's
I have
free?
it on my computer right now.
Oh, is it on Steam or something?
Can
No,
you
it's-
imagine if they
it's
tried
just
to
on
sell
there.
that?
No one will buy it.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Wait. Feast of Legends. Okay, bet.
They're just trying to get internet famous.
There would be
Oh,
a
of
few
course.
YouTube people who would buy it to play it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, no,
I
no good sales.
no.
Yeah. So I guess moving on from that.
How do
We
you
can
move on?
we can only go up from here.
That bizarro zone top of the hour. I'll go ahead and talk briefly about mine. So as I've announced, we talked about it a few weeks ago about how Iceborne came out. That was the latest expansion for Monster Hunter World.
Right.
They're going to have a They just announced a crossover that they're going to have that's going to release November 2019. So this November.
They've done a lot of crossovers before, like one with Mega Man and Animal Crossing and stuff.
And this one is another I already spoiled it. This is another Capcom title.
Oh.
I'm not going to ask you to guess which, because you know, because I spoiled it.
Is Mega Man again?
It's Resident Evil.
Oh, I got it wrong.
Oh.
So Leon and Claire are going to be apparently skins like Ryu was.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's
They're gonna.
pretty cool.
They added pendants for Iceborne that you can have hang off of them, and I think one of them's an umbrella pendant, like an umbrella symbol pendant,
Ah.
and then the other one's a Raccoon City police badge.
Oh,
That's pretty excellent.
That's pretty good.
I want to get that and put it on my bow gun. I can't wait.
I want to see like an abomination, just mishmash of all these like characters that have been introduced to Monster Hunter World, like
It's like Smash Ultimate for Capcom.
Leon, like what's his name,
Well,
Dante
there's,
from
there's Geralt too.
Oh yeah, Geralt. Yeah, I forgot about Geralt.
like Dante using the Ignis and like the two swords from Witcher, and he's a member of the Raccoon City Police Force, and he's out to hunt monsters.
Yes.
And Mega Man's with him.
In Mega Man.
Gosh.
In Mega Man. It's like the and Knuckles of Capcom.
The final answer to the Rajang problem.
Mega Man.
Oh man, but yeah, the most exciting thing about this though is that there's a new outfit for the hand. Oh yeah, also I think there's gonna be like new emotes where you can like get a zombie emote, maybe zombie makeup, and you shamble forward like a zombie, and I don't know.
I want some kind of Mr. X emote.
It looks
Oh,
like you don't. It
yes.
looks like you don't like flinch through it
It's gonna give
through
it to you.
the zombie stuff. There actually is something related to Mr. X, and that's the most excited thing.
Really?
I'm
What is
excited.
The handler got a new costume.
Oh my god!
Oh, yes.
You could dress your
Is it
handler
really
as Mr. X.
Yes.
Okay, so everything I've said bad about Monster Hunter has just been taken back.
Oh, that's so good.
That solves every problem I've ever had with Monster Hunter.
That's perfect.
Mr. X is in now.
It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. You can go to your camp and Mr. X will cook food for you. And
As a grandma.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
that's the handler. It's the young chick.
It's the young one.
side character who's always in your camp. So you'll just come back and Mr. X will be standing there waiting for you.
That's awesome.
They announced a few other things. Like I know they're the Palico armor art. There was like a contest to like design like Palico armor and like a new weapon. So they announced those. So there's a new charge blade called the Black Eagle, and then there's Wiggler armor for the Palico that's coming out. So
Wiggler?
yeah, Wigglers are these like little blue worm things that like pop out of the ground and they kind of like wiggle. That's why they're called Wigglers. So they
Makes
like
sense.
they made like a pot chest armor and then like a Wiggler coming out the top for the helm.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a big meme. There was already a Wiggler helmet for the hunter, so this is the next logical step. But
Logical step. Nice.
yeah, so that's gonna be cool. But yeah, that's all I have for that. So look forward to that on November. Also, Rajang is coming out next week. So
Yeah,
Nice.
check that out.
a lot of Iceborne stuff happening. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on from that because I believe you have a top of the hour as well.
I sure do.
A dingo fan.
It's kind of sad, but not all hope is lost kind of thing. Alpha Dream, which is the developer of the really popular Mario and Luigi RPG series, has officially filed for bankruptcy. Yahoo Japan has stated that as of March of 2018, the company's debt stood at about $4.3 million.
Jeez.
And that was in 2018 of March. So we have no idea where it is right now as it stands. So if y'all don't know, Mario and Luigi was a really good RPG series, but something that a lot of really awful people have been saying, but also I'm kind of part of them in a way, is, well, that sucks in a way, but also Paper Mario has a chance of going back to its original roots because of this.
I don't think so.
And that's an awful thing to say, but the only reason we're saying that is because of the interview with, I can't even remember her name, but basically she had explained that for the RPGs that we had, Paper Mario was going to start not being as much of one, and Mario and Luigi was going to be Nintendo's main RPG.
Yeah. That was going
And
to be
Nintendo owns those rights still, so they could still do it. But a lot of people are speculating that maybe Paper Mario has a better chance of coming back in the limelight.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
It's weird because that company, like, all they really did was make Paper Mario games, at least up until
And
the
some
last few
Japan-only
years.
titles, and that's it.
Yeah, but like those weren't their big sellers or anything. So I find
none
it
of them sold good except for Paper Mario and Luigi.
I find it weird that like they didn't, like Nintendo didn't bail them out or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess Paper Mario. I don't know how well the Mario and Luigi games actually did. I'm just told that they were good and that people bought them.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's kind of the rundown. So their original coming out and stuff releases, they were actually really good. But they made re-releases for the 3DS when the 3DS was already dying and on the way out. The Switch was out whenever they had the first re-release, and some people just assumed that maybe they didn't have time to make the assets to put it on the Switch. But then they released a second re-release, I think a year or two later, and people were really upset about that, and no one bought that really because they were like, the Switch has been out for a year or two. Well, I guess it was a year now. So the Switch had been out for a year, but they, instead of putting it on the Switch, which was the logical thing, they just put it on the 3DS, which was already dead.
Okay.
So a lot of people are assuming that they made those games for the 3DS, the remakes, and that probably took a lot of money to do. and they barely got anything in return. And so, like, especially the biggest one to me is Bowser's Inside Story. That's a DS game that people could already pay less money to go get on the DS and have basically the exact same game. The only difference is you don't have like an extra little side thing, which doesn't add anything.
Okay, so basically, people are sad that this is going away, but some people are excited because it means that the cult classic Paper Mario games that kind of got replaced by Mario and Luigi have like a chance of maybe making a return.
Basically, which is rude, but also I kind of hope it works out that way.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't want Mario and Luigi to leave. That's kind of the pickle I'm in, because I like both games. I like Paper Mario more, and so I'd like it to turn back to its original roots. But I also want. My question is, why can't we have both? Why can't Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi just be two RPGs that Nintendo makes? I don't understand that.
It takes a lot of time and money, I guess, to develop these games, and it doesn't make sense to. It would be like if we had two different kinds of Mario Kart. Like if we had a Double Dash series and the main series. Yeah. That sounds nice, but at the same time, both series are not going to be as good.
Yeah.
It'd be like if we had a bunch of classic Sonic games and a bunch of 3D Sonic games. Both of them would end up being garbage.
Except it's the 2D ones are good and the 3D ones is bad.
What?
Sonic Mania
This is just
good.
a hypothetical. It's
I
not
remember
real.
Sonic Spinball.
Sonic Mania was good. I promise Sonic Mania was good. You can look at the reviews. Sonic Mania was good.
Sonic Spinball was really fun.
I actually kind of like Sonic Spinball a little bit.
Sonic Spinball is fun.
I
agree.
Game.
I'm not very good at pinball games.
Obviously, you aren't good at platformers because you can't beat the Sonic Mania game.
I can beat it. This is not a problem with beating it. It's a problem with me enjoying it as I do.
Have you played any of the Sonic Mania at all?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to play it, bro. It's really fun.
I did. It was all right. Anyway, that's it. That's the final
But he doesn't
judgment.
like Sonic games.
Well, sorry.
So it's
okay, I think we're done with top of the hour.
Let's go ahead and
let's jump. On. We're gonna go ahead and give you guys a quick ad and song, and we'll be right back. We got a few things to talk about. We're gonna try to get to all of them, but yeah. Mm-hmm. This song after this ad, the song will be "Let There Be Fire," featuring Miracle of Sound by Aviators. So be sure to stay tuned for that and listen in. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
the earth burdened down. Last to die, laden with monstrous souls deep inside, sacrificed into flame. Now fed is kindling, they all burn the same, with warmth to slave. Of the end, I'll quench the sinner's desire to let there be fire. Alive, new rebirth, sent forth the soldier consumed by the earth, burdened down. Last to die, laden with monstrous souls deep inside, sacrificed into flame. Now fed is kindling, they all burn the same, with warmth to stave. Of the end, I'll quench the sinner's desire to let there be fire again.
Ba, 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 ba.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to the Tower Radio, and you're listening to the Dog Show, Doghouse.
The dog show.
You're listening to the dog show.
All right, let me try this again. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Doghouse, the latest in gaming news, reviews, and discussion with your hosts, Husky, Dingo, and Updog.
Hey, what's up, fellow gamers? Can you imagine what listening to a dog show would be like? And now the dogs are all walking around the circle. The handlers are holding their leashes. Uh-oh,
stop.
one dog is off course. No, now he's back in the line.
He's going to take some points off that from the judge.
Looks like
The
one
short dog is running faster than the big dog.
Unless
Might
there
be-
was the annoying
might be
dog
a-
from Undertale there.
Might
Then
be
it'd
some
actually be
stamina
something I
playing into
listen.
this final round as we close out the day. You know, these breeds are magnificent, but
Could y'all
I hate
imagine-
my job.
Could y'all
Uh-oh.
imagine having a dog show game?
One dog is speaking in tongues and is
It
lifted off the
probably
floor.
Anyways,
Things just got a whole lot more interesting.
and
boy.
the Labrador has apparently. Can you stop?
Aw.
Get out.
But Undertale dog, he's fun
All
and
right.
cute.
Let's get into it. Just sucked all the energy out of the room.
Do you want me to play the Undertale annoying dog song?
No!
I'll actually punch you.
It's so good. Oh.
Not when it's played through your mouth.
Okay, then I'll play it on my computer. Hold on.
No, don't.
Don't do it.
All right, so coming back, we just got off a brief sound break. Okay, sorry, gotta get back in the groove. So coming out, we got some general news for you before we go. We're gonna go into Game Doctors in a bit. I want to try to keep this short because we want plenty of time for that. But yeah, there was a recently released game on mobile called Call of Duty Mobile. That's pretty much all it's called. And the mobile has surpassed 35 million downloads in 3 days, faster than any other mobile FPS and TPS. It's number one on iOS, including non-gaming apps, in over 100 countries. So
Wow.
that's pretty big, but you know, not too unexpected.
No, it's
Like when you release like what's typically seen as a AAA game, it usually has pretty big success. And then as the themes start to show, it starts to fall apart. And yeah, but this is where Activision's games belong, where everybody accepts gotcha mechanics. So
jeez, that was harsh, but not.
Not wrong.
I
Not
hate them.
incorrect.
I hate them.
I hate you.
I hate you. I hate them. They're animals, and so I slaughter them like animals.
Oh no, no.
All right.
Shout out for the little ones.
Shout out to the women and the children.
Oh no!
Oh no. Oh no.
But aside from that, October 8th, 4 days from now, Terminator is going to be the latest addition to the Mortal Kombat 11 roster. It looks just like Arnold Schwarzenegger and sounds like a bad impersonator of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
I think it's the coolest thing Mortal Kombat has done in years, and I'm 100% on board.
Oh, yeah, no, it looks cool. It looks cool. The character looks cool.
Better than Alien and Predator?
Oh yeah, probably. I don't know what Predator looked like.
It's actually pretty cool.
I like it. Like whenever it goes into the skeleton shot, like when bones break, it shows his endoskeleton, like the robot bits from the Terminator. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, he's got a few cool fatalities, so that character looks like it's going to be fun. We're
They'll
gonna
send you into the future to be killed by a robot army.
Yeah, they have a trailer out about it, and I think they have some gameplay out on YouTube. So go and check that out. It's he looks cool.
He does look cool. I agree.
Also, another news, and it's kind of just breaking. But yeah,
breaking?
Kevin Conroy. You guys know that guy, the guy who voices Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in the next Batman game. There's rumors that the guy who voiced Batman in Origins is probably going to be this one.
That's kind of sad, though.
Okay.
Kevin Conroy did such a good job.
Yeah.
That could be like he's just getting older and he's like, I don't want to do this. Or it could be like, this game is going to be so bad that he's like, I don't want to be attached to it.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean,
Let's hope it's the older.
even the worst Batman game isn't like an actually like bad game. Like if compared to the other ones, it's like they could have done better. But like Origins is pretty much revered as like the worst one.
Yeah, the one at the bottom.
But I liked it.
It's still it's still a pretty good game.
It's okay.
I mean, like it has a lot of problems and like uses a lot of repeating subjects. But I had fun while I was playing it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna win Game of the Year or anything, but you know.
Yeah.
Like Arkham City.
Okay. So
well, the original Arkham is better. So
I was a big fan of Arkham City. But, I mean,
well,
I
anyways,
think Asylum was good.
jumping into the next one.
Oof.
It's okay, Brian. You'll have your chance to shine.
Done. I'm just kidding. I've done that already.
In other news, PlayStation Now. That's a service that PlayStation has been offering where you can play previous generations games such as I don't know,
Sly Cooper.
Infamous games, Payday, probably Sly Cooper.
No,
in
it
there.
is. Sly Cooper's in there.
Yeah, I never bought it because it was outrageously priced. Luckily,
No, it's
that
all
changed.
Yep. That's
They
kinda
lowered
nice.
the prices. So from $19.99 a month, they lowered it to $9.99. From $44.99 for a quarterly price, they lowered it to $24.99. And from $100 a year, they lowered it to $60 a year. And
that's not bad at all.
no, that's pretty good. It's compared
It's
to the
not
other
bad.
prices of competitors and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Dark
Sometimes-
Souls 2 is on there.
Wow.
And the Dark Cloud games, that's pretty good.
Sometimes companies just need to bow to peer pressure and do what everyone else is doing.
Sometimes. I agree. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's not successful, then you lower the prices. So
Fighting Vipers.
It's all about competing.
Right.
But yeah, so that's interesting. So if you're interested, maybe go out and check if that's now within your price range. It's only $10 for a month, so maybe invest and see what games they have. I think they just added God of War, Grand Theft Auto 5,
And a few more.
Infamous Second Son, and Uncharted 4: Thief's End.
They have a lot of the Lego games.
Yeah, and they have so many more than that. Like, I know like Payday was one of my favorite ones to play on that when I briefly had it.
Mega Man 9 and 10 are on it, as well as some of the Metal Gear games like Rising, Solid 4, and 5. I'm looking through it right now. That's why I'm saying
Right.
any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go check that out. Aside from that, we talked a few weeks ago about this. Destiny 2 was free on October 1st, and I think it still is free.
I believe
I
it
think
is.
it's like you can just download it and play what they have so far, except for the newest expansion, Shadowkeep. And I think both of those things contributed with the Destiny 2 player count kind of resurging. They had they resurged for at least, I think they had like 200,000 more players. They got up to number 4.
You make it free, that'll happen.
But that was kind of coupled with their announcement. They said that they're going to expand by 2025. They said that they will have a game that is not Destiny released. So that is their timetable.
Oh boy.
So,
Well, there you go.
it doesn't sound like they're going to be going out of business. It sounds like they're going to be trying to expand. I hope that they didn't pick up any bad business practices from Activision along the way.
We'll see,
Let's
dude.
hope not.
Hopefully the next Destiny is actually a game I'd be willing to pick up and play.
Something we can be proud of, like Anthem or Fallout 76.
Or Kingdom
Wait,
Hearts.
no, you said bad games. It's okay, Eli. So did you. That's what you were supposed to say. You missed the ball on that one.
Well, it's funnier hearing you say
It's
it's a
a
bad
living.
game than...
Yeah, but I don't actually believe it. So I'm confident in my games. And
All
my
right.
game's
Are we
goodness.
gonna? You got
One more thing before we go off. Sony announced crossplay.
Which is awesome. I'm really happy about that.
yeah. That's cool.
They're
I'm into
jumping
that.
from beta, and from the beta that they had, and they're going to be
Now it's just boom.
new games that are going to be coming out. They're going to be trying to add the crossplay feature, and I hope they retroactively add it to a few ones. But this
Yeah.
news also comes out with the name for the dev kit for the PS5. They officially named it, and it has been sent out to developers. It is called the Prospero. So,
I'm going to define that.
this is the wrong mouse. All right, so
There's too many mouses on the table.
yeah, both of them and Microsoft have said that this is going to be the biggest console jump as far as technology goes. Apparently, the Microsoft is the new Xbox is going to have a 4K camera, PS4 for streaming. PS4 or PS5 is just going to have normal camera. But yeah,
That's really cool. I remain unimpressed. As a Nintendo fanboy, I sit back
Yeah.
and say, can I play it
On the go?
Can I play it in my car? Can
It's
I
gonna be
play
easier
it on the go?
it's going to be easier to stream, I think. But
Which
I'm
is
excited. I'm excited with that because they also said that they're going to have you're going to be able to play past console games on it. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
But they said that about the PS4 too. So
Yeah,
that didn't
that's
happen.
true.
grain of salt, baby. Grain of salt. All right.
That's true.
But yeah, that's basically all the new news.
Oh,
that we
hey,
have.
what about the Pokemon news?
Oh.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that as
Okay,
well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
apparently in this next Pokemon game, Pokemon Sword and Shield, there's going to be 18 different kinds of
I'm gonna fix that real
gyms.
quick.
No, there's 18 different kinds, but there's 8 per game,
Yes.
which means that there's 2 gyms. 18 is 9 plus 9, but they've announced 8 different gyms in each, which means there's 2 secret gyms or 2 gyms that they're not talking about.
yeah,
that are
which
gonna be in
kind of
these games.
confuses me.
That's math. All the Pokemon that weren't included in the initial release are going to be released probably through DLC. They're gonna come in the future either through paid or free DLC.
If it isn't free, people will be upset. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
Yeah.
I forgot to transition.
Oh boy.
That's okay.
Yeah. So basically, I feel super vindicated by all this. There are a lot of people who are saying this Pokemon game isn't going to be as good. They should try a lot harder. And I was like, they're probably just not telling us everything about it and wait until it comes out, or wait until closer to the release date.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about a lot of
Yeah.
games.
It's just
Wait,
kind of part of the
so
outrage.
You gotta wait. That's
So
how I felt about
question-
a lot of games that people were hyped about, like
Mm-hmm.
not Destiny. I was.
Anthem.
That was a game that taught me to wait.
Yeah.
Anthem. Though.
Anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Games like that. Destiny and
I've,
Evolve both taught me that.
I have a
valuable
question
lesson.
for you on this topic of the gyms. 'Cause
Okay.
I just read something about it. I'm kind of confused. I don't know. So is it saying that there's 18 types of gyms and you get to pick which ones you challenge, or is it just whenever you load the game, it'll pick 8 of the 18 and then go through it?
From what all it said on the news thing was that there's going to be 18 different types of gyms, and you need to beat 8 to challenge the head honcho, the main gym leader.
The gym. Yeah.
I don't know if that means that there's going to be 9 in each game, or if there's just 18 in each game.
I know
You
that
just
they're.
get to
I don't know how it works.
That would be cool.
I know that each one is gonna have a different different types.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're gonna have different gyms.
Yeah. They're
than
gonna have
the-
some
than the
gyms
other
they've
one.
never had before.
Normal
like-
gym. It's
Dark-
also a post office.
Yeah. Dark
You can pay your taxes and register to vote, and then you
dark
challenge.
gym.
Local DMV.
Right? There's never been a dark type gym, right?
It's a basement in an
The
alleyway
dark type
somewhere.
gym. That's the DMV.
Yeah, that's the DMV. It's actually you have to leave your game on for 30 minutes and just you're going through the line,
Yeah.
and then you fight the gym leader.
Yeah, the dark gym is you have to beat 100 enemies in cruel brawl.
It's
So.
the Dark Souls.
As the
Pokemon.
trainer, not the Pokemon. The trainer has
It's also
to.
how you unlock Sonic in Melee. So all the kids out
Yes.
there listening to this, go out there and keep playing Melee until you unlock Sonic.
Sonic.
Sonic is in Melee, but like
Yes.
Sonic is already fast, and Melee is the fastest Smash game. You just can't see him when he's on the screen.
That's right.
He's the one actually killing you at the blast zone.
When you think, oh, I
Yeah.
was just walking, no, Sonic got you.
Sonic got you. All right, I think that's it. All we got for the news.
Yep.
Yeah,
Are we ready for this?
I'm ready.
We're always ready.
I am prepared.
Here at the doghouse, there's never a moment where we're not ready.
That's fair. So let's do it. Let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
Our general news yeah. We're that's all we have for general news. So I guess we're just gonna jump right in to our newest segment, treading new waters, breaking new ground.
That's right.
That's us. We're pioneers. We're heroes, is what we really are.
We're Sonic Heroes.
We're the heroes.
Gray-hearted hero.
We're the heroes that the airwaves deserve, but certainly not the ones that they need.
Well, you know what, Logan? Since you're the one that really made this since you're the one that has
I come up with all the
designed
cool ideas.
the idea, how about you start with what you would fix about
Okay,
Shadow the Hedgehog?
first of all,
one of the big things.
Let's talk about like some of the stuff that makes Shadow the Hedgehog a bad game.
Okay.
It's under the flag of the Sonic franchise, so that doesn't do it any favors. But
It's a funny joke.
okay.
Ah.
To start off, I think
Ha, ha,
it's
ha.
it's got the whole like 3D Sonic problems of like glitching through walls in the floor and like the camera being
Yeah.
wild, and so like they fixed some of that a little bit in some of the newer Sonic games. So maybe just like kind of update the controls and the camera and stuff. There's like a whole bunch of different endings in the game. Like I think 7.
There's 10.
10. Oh, Jesus.
10 possible endings, and all of them are bad.
All the endings are bad. The story mode is garbage.
The story is just awful. Don't ever watch
Yeah.
or play this game for story.
Yeah, the story is
Or
bad.
don't play it.
Let's see. Like there's always hordes of enemies on the screen constantly, so you can't really run forward very well. Which is it's a Sonic game, so you want to run.
Yeah. Well,
let's
either
see.
that or because the way that the game works is you have to go and do a mission. And so if
Yeah,
you're going to fulfill the
there's-
mission, you can't just run around and act like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
You have to be
the levels,
slow and methodical.
The levels are designed like Sonic games to where you go from like the beginning to the end in like a long track running forwards, but there's a bunch of arbitrary like missions you got to go through from point A to point B. So it should be more like designed more like I feel like a big platforming level or like something closer or like more akin to Mario where you have a big explorable area. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
break that down as we go. So, like, the big problem with the gameplay thus far is that, like, it has a lot of the glitchy problems. It's not very consistent. It's, a lot of the problems that, like, you have to stop and go. And for a game that, like most 3D Sonic games, they're about speed. I think we can all agree about that. You're about getting speed and going really fast.
Yeah.
This game really seems intent on making you slow down.
Right.
And I think that's to the detriment of it. Now, you could argue that there are a lot of fun parts in it, and just because of how ridiculous it is. But, like, generally speaking, I think that's one thing that the gameplay kind of
Yeah.
suffers from. And by the way, if you're just tuning in, yeah, this is Game Doctors. It's a new segment. We're talking about Shadow the Hedgehog. We're basically trying to fix this game. It came out. When did it come out? Like 2000.
Let me look at that
I
again
think
real
like
quick.
2008 maybe. It was way back, but like
Where is it? There it
yeah,
is.
I feel like all the good stuff about this game is just kind of how ridiculous and off the wall it is compared to its kind of other Sonic games, but it still suffers from a lot of the problems that
Yeah.
the 3D Sonic games have.
Yeah.
It came out November 15th of 2005.
Okay. Yeah, the idea of the game is interesting. Like it tries to give you a bunch of options of like being a good guy or a bad guy. Like is Shadow an anti-hero or is he just a bad guy? And like it gives you different like followers kind of or like little characters that'll like run around and like help you out. And it gives you different missions to go on to kind of like give you like different ways to go throughout the story.
Right.
I feel like that should be that kind of like gets in the way of having fun though, because like we said, the
Yeah.
missions are kind of arbitrary and a lot of them aren't fun. They make you stop when you just want to beat the level, and a lot of the characters that like go with you are really dumb, like Charmy the Bee or that eyeball. the Eye of Sauron that just follows you throughout the level and screams at you.
It's so bad.
Yeah. I feel like when I'm playing Shadow the Hedgehog, I want to run fast and I want to shoot things with my gun, which I didn't know was possible. There's guns in this Sonic game, which gives it like a slight advantage over the other ones.
Yeah.
Shadow's ticked, and he's got a Glock.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh my lord! But yeah, yeah, and then that kind of that what you said about gameplay kind of goes into level design. They're kind of like sticking with the old how the character moves from other Sonic games, but they're wanting to do like this whole branching path with the stories. And once again, the story is all over the place. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's
no
really
The
consistent-
United
bad.
States will not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
like
no.
the president gets nuked
The
by an
president's in
alien
it?
laser at one point, and then
Okay.
you see him walking into the government military facility, and like he's limping, and that's about it. It's like you just got nuked.
He just walked it off.
He was in the White
respect-
House
I
when it
respect him.
happened,
There's no
and he just
consistency.
walks away.
Okay.
And then they also retcon like because there were apparently like a lot of people there whenever the laser shot. But then the military's like, hey, we actually evacuated that city like 2 days before the laser shot, so
Yeah.
we're perfectly fine.
So
It's like,
basically,
no.
basically the story is supposed to be like branching and like interesting each time you play, but that just makes the whole thing really confusing and
bad.
convoluted.
Yeah, there's no tangible consequences at the end of it.
I feel like if they're gonna continue with that, it should be streamlined into like 3 maximum, like
Yeah.
good, neutral, and bad.
And
There
not
was-
having a last story segment that makes one of those stories the correct ending.
Yeah, nobody cares about the Sonic lore anyway. It's not like there's gonna be like lasting consequences from Shadow the
There weren't
Hedgehog's
going to be
meta-breaking
anyways.
stuff. The moon has been destroyed in this game,
No,
apparently.
the moon has been destroyed,
Yeah, the
and
moon's-
yet they don't show that the moon was
The
destroyed.
moon's
All
gone,
right,
but it's
all
there.
right, all right.
Yeah.
I'm
So what I can say,
Sonic makes me
the
mad.
story there was a lot of inconsistencies, and
It was
you know
bad.
there was a lack of consequences because at the end you had this like one big story thing that like no matter what you chose, you ended up doing this thing to save the Earth.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, and the fact that it's supposed to be working off of the Sonic Adventure games, but it doesn't really play off it too much. That's one thing, except for the arc is there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Yeah, they're basically trying to continue off of Heroes because, okay, so Sonic Adventure 2 happens, and at the beginning of Heroes, we find out that Shadow has lost his memories, but they don't say anything about that in Heroes, and so they said, hey, let's make this game and talk about that. Since he lost his memories, we should just make something up for his story. And so instead of just making it to where it's a Shadow game, where he's just running around like an actual Sonic game, and just people were telling him about his past. Instead of that happening, they decided to throw aliens in the mix.
Yeah,
And-
okay, we're not going to summarize the whole, like, to summarize
Oh,
the
that's
whole
all I'm
story.
doing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing is
there's-
that. So-
Basically, it's a Sonic game where aliens show up.
Yeah.
And
And
then
that's
they
just,
leave
that's,
because you kill them.
yeah, that's inherently,
Yeah,
that's
you
inherently
have
dumb.
3 forces. You have the aliens, you have the government, and then you have Eggman. Those are the big 3 factions that you're
Basically.
going to be going. If you're neutral, you end up going in the Eggman route, and
Going
I am
against-
Shadow Android. Goodbye, Doctor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yo.
Alternatively, what if the story was like about Eggman becoming president and Sonic goes missing?
And so Shadow has
So
to
Shadow has to
fulfill
save
So
the
it'd
deal
be
this
Batman,
time.
Superman, Public Enemies.
Yes, excellent.
Yes.
Perfect. That's what I want.
I like it.
All right.
Anyway.
What are some good things about this game though? Like what are things that you guys enjoy?
I love the style, honestly. I think it's so off the wall and bizarre that, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they were intending for it to be, but, like,
Yeah.
it creates some kind of, like, weirdness that's, like, it's just so unique.
There's also like an almost like an action movie tone to this. Like Shadow uses all kinds of weapons and guns that he finds along the way.
Right.
And if there's like a motorcycle sitting on the side of the road, Shadow will use it.
Yeah.
Just because he can. And I appreciate that a little bit. There's like an off the wall, stupid action movie kind of style to the
whenever
game.
he crashes it, it always explodes into a
Every
giant
time.
fireball.
Yep. I think as far as like actual Sonic game stuff goes, because I figure you two are talking more like an outsider looking in because y'all don't like Sonic games.
Sure.
But for a Sonic fan that plays those games, I think something that they do right is that if you just run through the stage, like honestly, if you really just do the neutral storyline and you don't care anything about story,
Yeah.
going through the neutral stages isn't that bad because you don't have any mission except get to the goal ring.
Yeah,
And in that sense, if you just have that mission, it's actually not that bad. If you honestly just go straight to the goal ring and make your journey there, I found that is the best way to play Shadow the Hedgehog for me. is doing that.
Honestly, I think the way that instead of I have a few theories on how you could potentially fix the level structure of
Okay.
this game.
Hit
Okay.
it.
So, assuming that I'm not like a huge fan of. I think they could polish up the platforming sections of Sonic 3D games in general.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool idea. They just need to polish it and make it a little smoother. But aside from that, I think that there are two ways you could do this. If you want to have it to where you pick your missions on the go, I think you need to take some. And this is going to sound weird. You need to take some inspiration from Star Fox 54, where you
Okay.
have like a when you're on the rails section, it moves like a Sonic game. It has the speed and everything that goes in it. But whenever you're having to do the platforming sections, the slow platforming sections, you don't want to have that Sonic style movement because it goes everywhere and it's harder to control. And when you're moving slow, you move really slow.
Yeah.
So you could just change the move. I mean, he has rocket boots. You can make him glide, and that's when you can start using the guns more in combat.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you have like these platform sections that maybe go instead of going horizontally, you maybe have some like climbing sections, and like you choose where you go in that, and it moves differently a little bit.
So you're saying like the goals and the levels wouldn't just be like
yeah,
kill all the good guys or kill all the bad guys. It'd be like go to this place, like over here.
yeah, there'd
Well,
be
that's
like
what some of the goals are.
that'd
though.
be like more.
Those were the easier
It'd be
ones.
less
though.
on the rails though at certain points and more exploration, and then like when you get to a certain spot, then you can go back on the rails. It'd be like the combat mode. You guys have played Star Fox 54, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
When you get in the big arena, there's a combat mode, and it moves extremely differently from like the on the rails esque section.
Sure.
I'm kind of saying like a split in that. Like when you get to a certain area, you go back into the combat mode, basically, like where you
Okay.
Yeah,
kind
sure.
of like the movement changes. Maybe you can glide over the floor. I think it'd be cool aesthetically if he glided over the floor with his rocket boots, and then
Yeah.
like you kind of fire with a gun. And so I think something like that would be really cool.
Maybe that's what the vehicles could be for and stuff. Like they'd actually like in those points, like in some areas, like he'd get in a Jeep, or in some other like place he'd get in like an aircraft carrier or whatever. So whatever Shadow's
Like
gonna
an
drive.
alien
Yeah.
hovercraft or something.
But like
Yeah.
I remember in this game, like the save points were like warp bits. So like if you went through the whole level, like if you went all the way around the track and you didn't like do your goal or whatever, you could go back to a certain point. So you ended up like backtracking over and over. But that would definitely solve the problems. Like if your mission was just in one direction and you chose to head towards it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about it, but like one of Shadow's things that kind of always like messed with the gameplay for me was he has like two powers that he has.
Yeah.
If you fill up your good meter by doing like good things, I guess.
If you beat
Yeah.
up the aliens, you gain good energy, and if you
Yeah.
beat up the bad,
If you
the
break things
military-
and like kill aliens, you fill up your good meter. If you break things and like do good things.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
two chaos
Yeah.
powers.
Yeah.
He's got like the Chaos Blast, which is like a big attack, and he's got the Chaos Control, which is like just a big boost. I feel like if you just got like if you killed more enemies of any kind and that filled up your Chaos Blast, that would make sense because like you're spending your time destroying enemies, so like a big attack would be useful.
Right.
And like maybe if you like I don't know, did more of those like flip tricks in the air whenever
Yeah.
you're like,
Or
going over
the
a
amount
big
of
jump.
rings you collected consecutively.
Yeah, or
maybe.
like maybe if you got a shorter time, like when you
Like
passed
a
a
different
checkpoint,
way,
that would
basically.
give you more of a boost because the game knows you're focusing more on getting a good time or being fast. That's what I
Right.
would do for that.
The
I
other
think-
nice thing about filling those was infinite ammo.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
true.
think in terms of the Chaos Blast, first off, that needed to be upgraded in general because it was really bad. It was a pathetic excuse of an attack if you were trying to attack a lot of people.
Right.
Most of the time, just infinite ammo worked fine for that. So I think if instead it just like showed an animation of him like just reloading his gun and then
Yeah.
screaming like infinite ammo or something and just using that for that, I think that would have worked a lot better.
Yeah, probably. But
I
yeah,
don't know.
I think what we're looking at here is like definitely some of the core ideas in game like design needs to be
And
changed.
I think they just need to make him move a little bit different from Sonic in general. 'Cause, like, I know he's supposed to be a
Yeah.
clone and needs to be tertiary to like how Sonic moves, but like
Yeah.
just a little bit of change, make it a little bit unique. You
I
know?
think they tried doing that, and here's my reasoning for that. In Sonic Heroes, whenever you told someone, like whenever you stopped moving the stick, they would like move a little bit maybe and then stop. Like they would have a little bit of momentum with them,
Yeah,
but not a
sure.
lot.
They kind of grind to a halt.
In this game, he like slip and slides. And so I think they were trying to make it he skates when he runs, and so he's got to take a little bit of time to stop because he's skating. And I'm like, that's
I think
too much.
I think what we're saying here at this point is like
it was slippery.
instead of being like to like change, make it less like a Sonic game a little bit. You know, like make it more of its own thing would be a good idea.
I like the focus on combat that they kind of wanted, because like Sonic games is all about like using enemies as like platforming elements and jumping across them. I like maybe like Shadow is just more combat oriented. Like
I would have liked that.
You just get in an arena and you just crack your knuckles, pull out your 9, go to work.
Like honestly,
It's so weird. Even now, even now, we played the game and I'm like, God,
like
what
he's
a weird
joking
game.
about that, but honestly, I would have preferred that.
Yeah,
like
have,
make it a
like-
fighting game or something.
Should have
instead.
like glory kills.
I
and
want
stuff.
more weapons, more vehicles, more
Right.
crazy stuff.
Yeah,
That's
make
what
it
I
Call
want.
of Duty Shadow.
I'd love to.
That's all I need.
I love to stick on this element of gameplay, but I think we do need to talk about the story a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm an aspiring writer. I'd like to think I'm an authority in some capacity on this.
Right.
The big problem, I think we can all agree, is that first of all, some of the endings are
Ridiculous.
weird and not in a good way, and they don't actually have any consequence on the final ending. First of all, I don't think there should be a final ending.
Oh, there shouldn't be. If you have 5 or 10 different endings that all have their own unique shadow, don't give me a final
Yeah,
ending.
just make it all about like you choosing Shadow. You should be able to decide what Shadow is. Now, if you want, you can buckle down on the weird endings. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like once you commit to that path, there needs to be little variance and there needs to be consistency, really.
I think they shouldn't care too much about necessarily the canon or whatever. Like this game is already ridiculous. Maybe he really is a shadow android in one of the endings.
Goodbye.
That'd be
Doctor.
crazy. And then in another ending, you fight that shadow android, and it turns out to be
that'd be
two
cool.
different.
Yeah, but there has to be like things like breadcrumbs in the level. You have to choose which path you're going to be like. Oh yeah, there were plans for some kind of weapon that Eggman's building, and like you're something like that. And they're like, all right, I'll follow that trail, I guess. And it turns out you were the weapon. You're a shadow android. Goodbye, Doctor.
And then later on, and maybe one of the other endings, like you're going to like Eggman's base or whatever, and you find that shadow android, and it's like, oh, it's 2 different stories about these 2 different characters.
You know something funny that I think I just want to mention is y'all aren't talking anything about different stories with the Black Doom and the aliens.
I think they actually
should have just taken them out.
Putting him in conflict with Sonic. Because that's every edgy 13-year-old's dream at the
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
So like
They did
I'm
that,
perfectly
so-
fine with like, I don't know, you could like flesh out Black Doom a little bit, like why he's there, and like getting in conflict, or you don't even have to make it. Maybe it's something more about the Chaos Emeralds, and I mean, maybe you can make it a revenge story instead. But I think like the whole Black Doom, that was their excuse for why
doing anything.
Shadow thrust himself into this.
I think another thing is like Shadow loses his memory for like a second time or whatever, and he's trying to figure out like who he is or whatever. But if you played Sonic, like everyone already knows
who he is
from past games.
You can remove the amnesia.
Get rid of
thing.
that. That needs to go.
Yeah.
It's
I think
awful.
I'll just say this is my last little bit.
All right, yeah.
I think that Black Doom should have been taken out of the story entirely. You could have had his dark person be Eggman. You could just have him working with Eggman and
Maybe.
then have him working with Sonic.
Yeah.
Why is
That's my
Eggman
idea.
neutral? He's been bad guy in all the other games.
Anyways,
It's because he's the
you guys, let us
lesser of
know.
two evils.
Did we fix Shadow the Hedgehog? Let us know. Comment. And be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for future videos. We'll be
for our
back.
YouTubers.
We'll be back next week, 3:10 to 4:10 on Fridays. You guys have been listening to the Doghouse. Sorry for logging out so abruptly. With your hosts, Husky, Dingo, and Updog. We're going to go ahead and sign out. Be sure to tune in next week once again, and tune in tomorrow from 11 to 1 for our show Dungeon Dogs.
Dungeon Dog.
The
Do it.
tabletop adventure.
Dun, 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 dun,
This
dun,
is
dun,
Husky, Dingo, and Updog signing out. Thanks for tuning in.
So long. I really